what TIE fighters are going to come take my friends down, so I better get back and protect them somehow. Like, and it just it's okay. As an aside, when they're in the speeder racing back to the town, and they're like, "We're almost there," did they think the TIE fighters were like, "Hey, listen, fellas, okay, they're back at town now. We better cut off the pursuit."
Well, I'm hoping that there were some defenses at the town where they had, some repeating blasters or something set up.
They didn't.
Uh,
They didn't fire though.
no, no, no. Apparently they didn't. But I was thinking like a medium repeating blaster, like we see in like the Battle of Endor setup or something, like nothing big, not like any ion cannons or any of that stuff, but something as a town defense, because I think the town needs some defense. Um,
Well, if you're gonna say that there's TIE fighters, which okay, another thing that I didn't understand. Um, this apparently was in like the only bad region of Nevarro, right?
well, that one base was the only bad region.
Yeah. Because if you
Yeah,
wipe that out, the planet was going to be basically a bastion of virtue, right?
yes, which is a whole continuity issue with the first season, but
Right.
yeah.
Exactly. But that aside, well, you have the marshal cleaning out bars, and she's going to Moss Eisley's and just wiping them out. But that aside, um, the
I
base.
think there's only one down.
Yeah, okay, that might be the whole deal. But that aside, the base was literally like a 5 minute drive. Like, I mean, like they.
Not on the map. On the map, it was like on the other side of the planet.
I know. But when they're coming out in the speeder, like they have a little canyon run, right? Okay,
Mhm.
that's 30 seconds, and then they have 30 seconds across the wide open where the TIE fighters can't hit them, and then they're back. And I'm adding a few
Yeah,
to make it feel good.
yeah. Distance has always been a problem for time, and distance have always been a problem in the Star Wars universe.
Well, right, but it's not believable if it's a 4 hour chase, so either.
Yes. Oh yeah, yeah. That would not work. That'd be exhausting.
Right. So I'm saying, like, even if you said like in episode 4, when they go to Alderaan, it's like what 2 weeks or something like that. They don't show it, um, but you can't say that chase was longer than 5 minutes max, because I don't know how much film time it was, but you can't add much more time to it because the Tie Fighter eventually gets them.
Yeah, I would say maybe 15 minutes tops. If I had to go like absolute tops, 15 minutes. But no, because you're right, it's got to be shorter than that because the base blows up
Mm-hmm.
and there was a 10-minute timer on the base blowing up and the TIE fighters lift off as it blows up.
Mm-hmm.
And then TIE fighters are faster than speeder bikes.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, yeah. I mean, it's not a long chase. They're it's not good. It's not good mapping.
Yeah.
They need a GIS specialist on staff.
If only there was one who had a podcast who could help them.
Yeah, they need somebody with some logistics background. Wait, me?
Yeah, I mean,
Oh. I have done GIS mapping for the people listening and watching out there. So that's just geographic information systems, but computerized mapping, which we saw, which I love the fact that they're using these terrible graphics for the targeting computers
they have
and
to.
these globe maps and everything. I love
They
it.
have to.
They do because they can't show how outdated the original movies were.
Right.
But at the same time, that's just not how we're progressing in our life. Like if Facebook could make a 3D projection of a planet, it would not be a vaguely topographic layout of the planet. It would be 3D with like skyscrapers and mountains and everything.
Right. One of the
Yeah.
questions I had about this episode was if they knew that base was there. They didn't discuss that when the Mandalorian got there in season 1, did they?
No, in fact, so that's one of my biggest issues with this episode is the continuity that it brings up with episode 1 because he gets there and like he meets the client and he's like, "Oh, these guys are Imperials." And he's talking to Carl Weathers' character. He's like, these guys are Imperials. And he's like, yeah, I know, but they pay. It's like, why are you surprised that there's Imperials here if they have a base on the planet?
On the planet.
That'd be, me, I don't know, being like, did you know that there's people from Houston here? I live just outside Houston for everybody who does not know my life.
In the U.S., Houston, Texas, in the U.S.
Yeah. So
China,
I live...
or Africa or South America, like the Houston in Texas.
Yes, Houston, Texas. Yes. And for me to be like, oh, there's Houstonians here? It's like, yeah, of course. They live 15 minutes away.
Right.
Of course they're here.
Yes, I didn't understand that. I have to go back and watch the episode, but and it really, I don't know if you call it a secret base or not. I mean, I guess it is kind of off the beaten path per se, but once you pull up, it wasn't like hidden by a hologram or something like that. Like, there's obviously something going on here. The local mining company probably didn't throw this together. This is a big time operation.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess the satellites in the Star Wars universe. I mean,
they have to have them,
right? So, like,
I just can't remember any.
And so you would think that the satellites could have picked this up.
Yeah. Well, obviously they knew it was there. They had the red dot on the map.
Right. So you would think like the Mandalorians should have known because it'd been uploaded to the ship. But let's not get too far. So the Mandalorian, first off, he's got to learn to say no. Am I right? Like, he says yes to everybody.
Well, okay. First off, he's a bounty hunter, so like he's predisposed to saying yes.
Well,
also, maybe he likes improv. And also these are his friends, and they're helping him out with the ship. And I think he just feels obligated. And also he hates Imperials. Imperials killed his parents. Imperials forced his people away from their homeworld. Imperials slaughtered his culvert there on Nevarro. He hates Imperials. So I think he's just always up for attacking Imperials.
But it feels like either they are, from the creator standpoint, either they're just using this as a tool for every week he's going to go on a mission. That gets kind of repetitive. I think it's already is a little bit repetitive.
Yes. I think he'll go on a mission every week.
What's that?
I think he'll go on a mission every week. Just like CSI has a new crime to solve every week.
But
I think it's gonna be like that.
Same ploy, like, hey, we need your help. Come on, like it has to be something more than that. The missions he goes on are rarely forced upon him. He usually it's like Mission Impossible every week. He gets a little tape. He's got 5 seconds, and he accepts. And at some point, the child is changing him. You think it seems. At some point, he has to turn down the missions. He might all that in a few episodes back when he wouldn't continue on with the other Mandalorians. He had to go on, so he kind of said, "No, I can't do this. I need to go back and finish what I started." So yes, kind of there somewhat, but
he also didn't like them.
Yeah, he's a little bit of a loner.
Yeah,
bit of a loner. So I don't know. I think if this week coming up on Friday. Are they got one coming out on Friday after Thanksgiving?
Yes, I think so.
Yeah, so if there's one this week on after Friday, and it's literally, hey, Mando, shameless plug. Can you come help us, with this thing? And he's like, yes, I can. Let me leave the child here. It's like, oh, not again. If it's Moff Gideon attacking him and it's forced upon him, that's different. And so you see, it's one thing if it's always him being offered and always him responding yes. It's another thing if it's a kind of a better mix of, sometimes it's forced upon him and sometimes it's not.
Yeah, I think that the next episode is going to be either him on his way to the planet where Ahsoka is, or the moon, where Ahsoka is, and something happening that's diverting him. He hits a gravity well and gets pulled out of hyperspace, and then has to fight the Imperials because they're tracking him. Though, also they put the beacon on him, right? They put the tracking beacon on his ship, But we see that it isn't until Star Wars Episode 8 that the First Order has developed and perfected their tracking while in hyperspace, right? So I think that's the first time.
Episode 6. I mean, Episode 5, when they track the Falcon to Cloud City.
Well, in 4, they track the Falcon to Yavin. That's right, but they can't track them in hyperspace, so they can't pull people out of hyperspace. They have to wait till he's out of hyperspace and they go, "Oh, that's where he is."
Yes. Okay. Yeah. You're right. On that page.
Yeah. Sorry, it's I'm really bad at explaining hyperspace travel.
Yeah. Well.
Sorry, I'll work on it. Sorry.
Okay. Yeah, we're on the same page. So whenever he stops that, they will be able to then figure out how far they're away and then go there.
Right. And then zoom to him. So I think either something's going to happen there, or he'll get to the planet and somebody's going to be like, "Oh yeah, I could take you to Ahsoka, but before I help you, I need you to help me." And then he has to do something for them, and then they'll take him to Ahsoka. And we'll get to see like her back at the last second of the episode.
If they do that, Kyle, we might have a 3-podcast run. That might be it. So let me ask you this. Let's get to the big thing. No. We don't want to do the big thing.
Okay.
No. We don't get the big thing. There's a couple of things I was just curious about. This is your show. I'll ask you this and then I'll shut up. The Alderaan line at the end. I don't think Gina Carano is that great of an actress, to be quite honest with you. I think she's pretty stiff. I don't know if she's supposed to be. I know she's a soldier, but I don't. Most of her stuff is.
I think she's supposed to be stiff, but also she might supposed to be stiff because she is stiff.
Yeah, right. Yeah. I like the nuance there. She's some of her lines are really bad. Like, and when the speeder pulls up and she's like, "What are you guys waiting for? An invitation?" It's like, "Oh, shoot me now!" Like that's, get in. That's all you got to say. Like, come on. But anyways, so some of her lines are bad, but the whole "my family died on Alderaan," it just landed flat with me. What did you think?
I thought it was going to be shorter. I thought, because as soon as he's like, did you lose anybody? I thought she was going to be like, everybody. Like, the whole planet died. Like, everybody. How do you not know that I lost everybody?
Well, they could have been off planet. They do have spaceships that travel from planet to planet.
Oh, yeah, they do have that.
Yeah.
That's true. Okay, so there's that. But even if her family didn't immediately die, she's the kind of person that would say she lost everybody, just to be a jerk to them.
Obviously, duh.
I'm not calling her a liar or anything. I'm just saying that she would be like everybody, just to be like the tough guy. Right.
I lost the whole planet, jerk.
Yes, yeah, that thing. So I don't know. I didn't think it was terrible. I didn't think it was terrible. Maybe I'm not as critical as you.
No, I don't. At this point, I'm not sure what I'm pulling for or what I'm rooting for, and that's the thing. Like, obviously, you okay? Up until this episode, I felt pretty good. Like, hey, Baby Yoda, he's Team Good Guy. This episode kind of changes that. But
wait, this episode changes that he's Team Good Guy.
I think it's in question, right?
Well, I was thinking that 2 episodes ago.
Okay. Okay, we're not Back to the Future, okay? We're not talking about Hannibal Lecter, okay? That's for a future date to be. Okay. We'll talk about that later.
Yes. So, I mean, his blood got used in an experiment in this episode, or we find out about it in this episode. But I mean, he wasn't like complicit.
No.
But before we get to that,
no.
Let's get to Cara. Before we do that, when he steals the cookies.
No.
Just being a kid.
It was okay.
Okay. Cara Dune. Let's talk about Cara Dune first. Okay, I think they wanted to give her an out for the series because she's been getting in trouble on Twitter with some people.
Yeah,
and so I think that was kind of her character's possible way out of the series. For going and joining the
brothers.
The what are they called? The new Republic.
Yeah. But she didn't take it.
Well, he left his medal. It looked like a Medal of Honor that Blue had received.